Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. Everybody wants to be heard. Deep down, every man, every woman, every soul walking this earth, they're all dying for one thing: to be understood, to be seen, to be valued. But the problem is, most folks spend their time talking, not listening. We live in a world that's loud. People are shouting for attention, posting for validation, performing for approval. But behind all that noise, they're just waiting for someone to finally say what they're dying to hear. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something from the heart. The most powerful words a person can ever hear are, "You matter." You'd think that's simple, right? Just two little words, but those two words have the power to lift somebody out of a dark place. They can bring light back into eyes that haven't seen hope in a long time. Because truth is, most people don't hear it enough. We live in a world where folks are constantly being told they're not enough, not smart enough, not rich enough, not pretty enough, not successful enough. People are walking around every day wearing smiles that hide their pain, showing up for jobs where they feel invisible, sitting in relationships where they feel unheard. And deep down, they're asking one quiet question: do I even matter? Now imagine you being the person who answers that question with love. Imagine looking at someone, your friend, your child, your partner, even a stranger, and saying, "Hey, I see you. You matter." That's not small talk, that's soul talk. Because when you tell someone they matter, you're reminding them of their value. You're telling them that their presence makes a difference, that their voice is important, and that their life has purpose. You never know what someone's fighting behind that smile. They might be one compliment away from giving up, or one word away from trying again. Sometimes the difference between somebody's breakdown and their breakthrough is just one person showing up and saying, "I see you. I care." See, we all want to feel like what we do matters. Even the strongest people, even the ones who look like they've got it all figured out, they're human. They get tired too. They question themselves too. And that's why it's so important to pour into people. Don't wait for a funeral to say nice things. Don't wait for someone to disappear to tell them they made an impact. Do it now. Tell your people they matter while they can still hear you, because love and appreciation have power, and they grow when you give them away. You know, I've met a lot of successful people in my life, and let me tell you, the ones who truly shine aren't the ones with the most money or fame. It's the ones who make others feel seen. When they walk in the room, they don't need attention, they give attention. They make you feel like you're the only person that matters at that moment. That's real power, the power of presence, empathy, and humanity. So when you speak to someone, speak life into them. Remind them of their worth. Tell them they're doing a great job, even if they're just holding it together. You never know who's waiting to hear those words, because no matter who we are, rich or poor, famous or forgotten, deep down, we're all dying to hear it. You matter. You'd be amazed how many people walk through life never hearing the words, I'm proud of you. They work hard, they sacrifice, they push through pain, and still nobody says it. They get applause for what they achieve, but not for what they overcome. There are folks out there carrying silent victories, fighting battles no one even knows about. They wake up every morning with doubts in their mind, but they still show up. They keep going even when life knocks them down. And you know what? They deserve to hear that someone sees them, that someone recognizes their effort, that someone is proud. Because deep down, we all want validation, not the kind that feeds ego, but the kind that feeds the soul. See, a lot of people spend their whole lives chasing approval from others. Some are still waiting to hear it from their parents, some from a mentor, and some from a world that never gave them a fair shot. And when no one says it, they try to earn it through success, money, attention, anything that feels like worth. But the truth is, it's not about those things. It's about being acknowledged for your journey. When someone looks at you and says, I'm proud of how far you've come, it reminds you that your struggle wasn't in vain. It tells you that the quiet nights you spent holding yourself together meant something. And the thing about pride, the good kind, is that it's contagious. When you tell someone you're proud of them, it plants confidence in their heart. It makes them believe they can go even further. It tells them they're not invisible. Sometimes that one sentence said at the right time can push someone from quitting to continuing. It's that powerful. You don't have to give big speeches or long compliments. Just say it. Say it when your kid brings home a C after studying hard. Say it when your friend gets back on their feet after falling. Say it when your partner is doing their best, even if the world doesn't notice. Because sometimes the loudest love comes in the quietest words. So many people go their whole life wondering if they've made someone proud. It's a human need to know that your existence made a difference to somebody, that you mattered enough for someone to look at you and feel pride. When you give someone that moment, you give them peace. You let them rest from the endless chase of trying to prove themselves. You tell them you've already done enough. You've already made someone proud. We all need that. Even the strongest ones. Even the ones who act like they don't care. Because deep down, every heart beats for acknowledgement. Every soul wants to feel seen. So don't hold back those words. Give them freely. You never know. Your voice might be the only one reminding someone that what they've done, who they are, and how far they've come, it all matters. And they deserve to hear it. I'm proud of you. You're forgiven. Those two words can change the entire direction of a person's life. Most people don't realize how heavy guilt can be until they carry it for years. It eats away at the heart, makes you second guess your worth, and keeps you trapped in your past. There are folks walking around every day smiling on the outside, but breaking inside because of something they did years ago, something they wish they could take back. They replay it in their heads, wondering if they'll ever be good enough to be loved again. And when someone finally looks at them and says, "You're forgiven," it's like the sun breaks through the clouds. That's not just a phrase, that's freedom. Forgiveness is one of the greatest gifts you can give to someone, and sometimes to yourself. Because forgiveness doesn't say what you did was okay. It says, I won't let your mistake define you. It says, you still deserve love. You still have purpose. We've all made choices we regret. We've all hurt someone or disappointed someone or even disappointed ourselves. But living chained to that guilt doesn't heal anything. When you forgive, you release that burden, you release the pain, the resentment, the constant replaying of what went wrong. You make room for peace to enter. And when you forgive someone else, you give them a chance to rise again. There's power in looking at someone who thought they ruined everything and telling them you're forgiven, because that tells them you still have value. And sometimes that's the first time they've heard that in a long, long time. Some people are afraid to forgive because they think it makes them weak. But it's the exact opposite. It takes strength to let go of hurt. It takes power to choose healing over revenge. Forgiveness isn't forgetting, it's remembering without the pain controlling you. It's saying, you hurt me, but I'm not going to let that pain make me bitter. I'm going to let it make me better. And if you're the one needing forgiveness, remember this: you are not your mistake. You are not your worst moment. You're still capable of goodness, still capable of growth, still capable of love. But you've got to forgive yourself too. You can't move forward if you keep punishing yourself for what's behind you. The past can teach you, but it can't define you unless you let it. There's no greater peace than knowing you're forgiven, truly forgiven, not because you earned it, but because love was bigger than your failure. That's what forgiveness is, love, choosing to move forward. So when someone says you're forgiven, hear it with your heart. Let it wash away the guilt, the shame, the weight you've been carrying. Because everyone deserves another chance. Everyone deserves a new beginning. And maybe, just maybe, those words are exactly what someone out there is dying to hear. You're forgiven. I believe in you. Those words can turn a broken spirit into a fighter again. You never really know how much it means until you've been at that point where doubt feels louder than hope. Life has a way of testing people. It knocks them down, strips away their confidence, and leaves them wondering if they've got anything left inside worth fighting for. And in that moment, when everything feels shaky, one voice that says, I believe in you, can make all the difference. It's like someone handing you a flashlight in a dark tunnel. It doesn't make the tunnel shorter, but it helps you see your way through it. Everyone at some point loses faith in themselves. Maybe they failed too many times. Maybe people around them gave up on them. Maybe life just kept throwing storms their way until they started believing they were meant to sink. That's why belief from someone else is so powerful. It doesn't replace your strength. It reminds you of it. When someone believes in you, They're not seeing you for what you are right now. They're seeing you for what you can become. They're seeing your potential when you've forgotten it yourself. That kind of belief lights a fire inside you that nothing else can. I've seen people transform just because someone believed in them when no one else did. A teacher who told a struggling kid, "You're not dumb, you're just distracted." A friend who said, "You can do this even if nobody else thinks so." A partner who whispered, "I know it's tough, but I've got faith in you." Those are the moments that change lives, because belief has energy. It transfers. When someone believes in you, you start believing again too. You start to lift your head, straighten your back, and take another step forward. You start fighting again, not because everything's easy, but because someone reminded you that you still have something inside worth fighting for. Believing in someone doesn't cost you anything, but it can mean everything to them. You don't have to fix their problems or solve their pain. Sometimes all they need is for you to stand next to them and say, "I see something in you," because faith is contagious. Confidence grows in the presence of people who see our light even when we can't. And here's the truth, even the strongest people need that reminder sometimes. The ones who always seem in control, the ones who motivate everyone else, the ones who never show weakness, they need to hear it too. "Oh, I believe in you," tells them they don't have to carry the weight alone. And when you give someone that kind of belief, you're giving them more than encouragement. You're giving them power. You're showing them that even when life tries to break them, they've still got something unshakable inside. You become that one voice that cuts through the noise of doubt and says, "You can do this." Because belief is love in its purest form. It's hope spoken out loud. And when you say it with your heart, those 4 words can breathe life into someone who thought they'd already lost their fight. "I believe in you. You're enough." Those words are simple, but they carry a kind of healing that money, fame, or success can't buy. Because deep down, most people don't believe it. They spend their whole lives trying to prove their worth to family, to society, to themselves. From the time we're kids, the world teaches us that we have to earn value. Get good grades, look a certain way, make a certain amount of money, achieve something impressive. Only then do we feel like we matter. And somewhere along the line, we start believing that who we are isn't enough unless we become something more. But the truth is, your worth was never up for debate. You were enough the day you took your first breath. So many people wake up every morning and immediately feel behind. They compare themselves to others, to the ones with better jobs, nicer homes, or more followers. They scroll through social media and feel smaller with every post they see. And it's sad because they don't realize they're measuring themselves by someone else's journey. They forget that what makes them special isn't their perfection. It's their authenticity. The scars, the mistakes, the lessons, the resilience, that's what makes a person beautiful. You don't have to have it all together to be worthy of love, peace, or happiness. You just have to be real. When someone says, "You're enough," it's not just reassurance, it's release. It frees you from the prison of comparison. It tells you that you don't have to chase acceptance because you already have it within yourself. You don't have to earn love by pretending or prove your worth by achieving. You are enough even when you're still growing, still learning, still healing. You don't have to be perfect to deserve rest. You don't have to be extraordinary to deserve love. You just have to be you. The world makes people feel like they always have to be more confident, more successful, more attractive, more something. But that more is a trap. It keeps you running on a treadmill that never stops. And the moment you stop chasing it, you realize peace isn't found in doing more. It's found in accepting yourself as you are. When someone finally tells you, "You're enough," it's like a deep breath. After years of holding it in, it reminds you that your flaws don't disqualify you. They're part of what makes you human. If more people believed they were enough, there'd be less hate, less jealousy, less pretending. Because when you feel whole within yourself, you don't need to tear anyone else down to feel taller. You start to see the beauty in others without feeling threatened by it. You start to move through life with grace instead of pressure. And that's what those two words carry: peace, freedom, and love. You're enough means you were worthy before anyone ever told you otherwise. You don't have to become something else to be valuable. You already are. You're enough. I love you. For real, those words have a depth that can't be faked, a weight that can't be imitated. Everybody says, "I love you," but not everybody means it. Real love doesn't come with a price tag, conditions, or contracts. It doesn't disappear when life gets messy or when you're not at your best. Real love stays. It sees you for who you are, the good, the bad, the broken, and still chooses you. That kind of love is rare in this world because most people only know how to love when it's easy, when it benefits them, when everything looks perfect. But real love, it's the kind that shows up even when it hurts. It's the kind that says, "I see your flaws and I'm not going anywhere." People are starving for that kind of love, the kind that doesn't demand perfection, the kind that doesn't walk